system, we are trained not to say you don't know, not to question. And some of us had come from homes, I guess Martha could have been like me as well. My parents taught me to look at people in their eyes, to question and to confront them. And this in school those days was seen to be very, like you shouldn't do it. So when we were in school, it was difficult. And one thing I know is that when I was a head girl, Martha, Jen Matoke, there were a number of girls who used to advise me as well as a head girl. So he is a tough head girl, but she has some advisors. So we had to go through very difficult things. And one difficult one was smoking, because a lot of girls used to smoke, not that they were smokers. Is that trial you do as a young person? You know it. I did it. I smoked as well. So the smokers were... Yeah, so there were these smokers, and then they're young, and we are in high school and they're in Form 2. So they would hide behind the tennis court and the rest. So we would consult with Martha and say, now, this little girl is going to be sent home. What do we do? No, we must convince Mrs. Mwaniki. They shouldn't be sent for smoking. We can talk to them. So there was always that feeling of you speak out and you are also helping your other young girls. So Martha was all the time that sprouting out, the kind that will be looked for if something happened, because where is she? Very confident, self-driven, and the way I saw the self-driven Martha in school going against the tides doesn't shock me, because she was self-driven, she was resilient, and those days this concept of resilience was not there. It wasn't so much. It came more to be dramatized by, through climate change and all this. But Martha was resilient. If she wanted to do something, she did it. And also very open, and had many friends when we were in high school. I know if you read the book, you will see something that happened on page 43 there, about one time we took a collective responsibility, an impossible collective responsibility, because we booed the teacher. You remember, we booed the teacher, and the teacher just said, no, I will never teach you again. Went, reported us, and in the booing there was also a whistle. Somebody whistled. So what was picked up was the whistle. So they wanted the one who whistled to be declared. And we said, but how does one get sent home that they whistled? What do you tell your dad? No, this can't happen. Nobody will be victimized. And we fought that through negotiation for days and days. We succeeded. Probably we were punished, but we succeeded. So what I see today of Martha, especially when Martha became the politician, I was saying, Martha now is in the right place. But let's see. And I was very happy, 20 years. And we were very close that time, plus with my colleague here, Kaire, with Martha. Those years as a member of parliament, then getting to be a minister, then the tides. I won't go along to say the tides. There have been a number of tides in Mother's journey, her journey. I won't even call it journey to politics or journey to life, but it's a journey. Because for me, I believe this journey is not stopped. Tides come, you pass the waves, and you go next. And I think in high school with our Mrs. Mwaniki, we must mention her name, a very special lady. I remember last elections, we were very up all over trying to campaign, and with our headmistress around us as well, saying this, our lady, has to continue and to move on. So we are really happy to be here and to talk about Martha. Her story and her journey will continue guiding some of us, and of course, the advice and all that we get is good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Winnie Mitula. Correct me if I'm wrong, but your cohort was one of the first to be all admitted to university. Your class.
To be?
Admitted to university. All of you admitted to university.
Yeah. All the time.
what could happen to this fiery girl of mine who has joined politics and she's silencing everybody. You know, you as her old friend, between you and me, could you please talk to her and tell her to tone down and take care of what she says and where she goes, because I think she's doing it, she's too much. Tell her to tone down, and don't tell her I have told you to say so. So all along, I promised Mr. Karua that I will do the best I can. Of course, I never toned her down. I put fuel. I put more fuel so she could even go faster and higher. But what I remember is that Mr. Karua also told me that when he brought Martha to Form 5 in Nairobi Girls, escorted her from home to the school, he also confided in the headmistress because he was worried. She has been to several schools in the past. And is she going to do these 2 years in this school? So he confided in the headmistress and told her, I want to tell you who my daughter is, and thank you first of all for taking her, because I didn't think anybody will take her into any school after what she has been in the past. And I only came to learn that from our former headmistress, Mrs. Mwaniki, just a few years ago when we were doing campaign for Mother. And she also told us, you know, when Mr. Karua told me this, when he brought this girl to my school, and over the time I was watchful. I saw leadership instead of fiery and reasonable campaign. And for those 2 years, Mrs. Mwaneki was aware that there is a leader. She found that there was a leader here, not a fiery girl who just riots for the sake of rioting. And she only confided to us 2 years ago. But what I would say is that Martha was such a lesson to us in the small things we did in school, and especially the good things. Like Professor has said, Nairobi Girls had quite a bunch of girls who had tasted urban life in Eastlands, Nairobi, and they knew a lot, and smokers. You will remember that Nairobi Girls is next to Kibera slums. So there were people from the slums who were trying to sneak bang into the school. Mother has been, and I would like to even extend that to the university, because when we left high school, we went to university, and those who went to university, you all know, imbibing alcohol, smoking, and other extremes. But Mother was never an extremist in terms of vices. Let's call them vices. And even though she would join you at Serena used to be our morning, evening special place, because we were just here. And there were no restrictions in Serena. We could changa and buy 2 beers and share at Serena, not in Matthew, at Serena. And Mother was always very moderate. She wouldn't drink much. She never smoked. So she was on our watch. She's the one who would walk us back if we overdid it. So she's been very moderate in terms of, so you could never accuse Mother of, oh, you are behaving like this because you're drunk or you have smoked. She was careful, and that has followed her in life, moderate. But most of all is that she challenged the norms from early. A professor referred to the whistle, and anybody who was in Nairobi Girls then, even the other classes from Form 1, still remember about the whistle. And she whistled, and the teacher was very, very, very mad about it. And so we all had to say who is on. And we would not say, because this is a leader we respect, how can we say it's her? And finally, when she owned up and said she's the one who whistled, she justified it and in front of all the teachers. And her reasoning was, this is a natural thing that happens. Just like I would cough. So this is natural. How can you punish us for, being natural? A whistle is like a cough. That was the justification. And we could see the teachers actually, for a moment thinking, yeah, actually, it's a natural action. But anyway, the reason that we kept quiet was not because it's because we respected her. And we did not see why someone should be punished because of whistling, coughing. How? So the teacher actually felt like, yeah, maybe. Well, it could have been a natural reaction. But beyond, Mother also knew what she was in school for. Surprising enough, Mother knew she was going to be a lawyer. And she worked hard to be a lawyer. In fact, at one point, she bought a pair of glasses and told us, lawyers usually look like this. They wear glasses, and she bought a pair. She bought a pair of glasses when we were in Form 6 to look like a serious lawyer. And she achieved it. But what I would also not forget is when we were taken into Nairobi University, remember the late President Kenyatta died while we were in university, we just joined. And to my amazement, when Kenyatta died, we were staying at the box, and we all came out of the rooms. And the first person that I met on the corridor was Martha, because her room was not far from mine. And everybody was shocked. Kenyatta? You mean Kenyatta was mortal, he could die? And most astonishing to me was when I met Mother on the corridors, she was dancing, "Change is as good as rest." And I asked Mother, are you real? You don't? Kenyatta, you know Kenyatta? Kenyatta has died. Change is as good as rest. And that has lived with me since that time till today. Mother is not afraid to challenge the norms against all tides, against the tide. Because Kenyatta's death in the country was, people had been stupefied to think Kenyatta was so immortal. And who else than Mother to remind us all in that university that change is as good as rest. So against the tide follows Mother all along, and I am very proud of her, and many of us should be proud of her. And I know she's got a lot more to deliver in this country from now on.
So I'd like to ask Mr. John Gomez, what's your favorite recollection, or what you are a teacher, so you are used to teaching students, but sometimes your students also teach you. So what would you say that you learned from Martha?
Martha used to love my subject, biology. And we used to discuss biology for a long period, because that particular subject creates a lot of interest among human beings and animals. So every time I went to the class, the first class they loved was biology. And I spent all my time teaching biology for 30 years in all the schools in Central Province. Nyeri High, Gaichenjiro, Mugoiri, Karima, St. Mary's. And I introduced a new school called Mo Ikweta Nanyuki. I founded that school and built it single-handedly, the whole school. 12 classrooms, 3 dormitories, 7 staff houses, administration block, dining hall, 4 laboratories, library, and all the girls had access to the farm in the school with 1,000 chickens, 84 pigs, 10 cattle, 40 goats, and 100 sheep, all for the school. So we brought up all our children in Kenya as our family. And all the girls I left 40 years back, 50 years back, we are still together and we meet every year.
So a question to you, Professor, and Wambui, Ms. Wambui. There was a thread of sisterhood when you were doing your A-levels and also when you were in university. What would you say inspired this between all of you at that time? The sisterhood between you.
I would say the sisterhood started when we met, of course, in high school and continued to university. And for me, one of the reasons why the sisterhood kept going strong is because whatever we used to do in high school showed results. And mother is a results-oriented person. I can tell you that. They can say that. We initiated that. We told the headmistress we need to go out, flex muscle, go out to church outside and meet other human beings. And we had to justify that. And mother, we did justify, and mother also said we can sign ourselves out from 5 responsible human beings. We can actually sign ourselves out instead of asking our parents to come and sign us out. Because some of the people did not come from Nairobi, so their parents were nowhere. There were people who were not signed out and stayed in all the time. And do you know, we discussed it with the teachers and the headmistress, and hey, they allowed it. They allowed us to sign ourselves out from 6s and 5s, and not only that, to go out, but they had to decide which church we all go to, which was the Baptist church on Gong Road. Imagine, results-oriented. I hope it still happens today, I don't know, but it happened. And again, at the university, for me, I remember many of our class, from 6th class, many of us went to university, especially Nairobi University, and many of them were doing law, except me. And I felt so bad when they were all taken into law. I told my father, I don't want to go to university. I was not taken to do law, and that's what I wanted. So I went home, and my father had to persuade me to go back, and told me how one can even do law after the first one that I was taken. I did sociology and government, but I don't know if Daktari would remember, but mother used to sneak me into the law classes, such that some people still think I did law in Nairobi University. So, and mother also started teaching teaching us how to fight for our rights when we were in university. And I remember one time we went to, it was called what? Excelsior Hotel. And because when, I remember that class also had a foreign lady, Mrs. Chite, I can't remember, she was from which country. She was from Kenya, she was doing law. And we had to justify why we are there as ladies alone, how we don't have to be accompanied. And we were finally allowed to sit down and have our drink. So there are many examples I would give that many things Mother taught us. And they were always good things. I can't remember one thing Mother taught us that was not a good thing, really. So many more. I would not bore you more, but there are many more.
Thank you so much. And due to the constraints of time, we're going to have to wrap up our panel. I hope you all enjoyed and got to hear a bit of the other side of Honorable Martha Karua, and would like to move on with the program. So thank you so much for coming on stage and sharing your stories. Over to you, Latif.
Another warm round of applause, please, for our panelists. Apart from Martha, is there anybody else here who went to Kibura Girls? Anyone else? There are many. Don't be shy. Just raise your hand or stand up. Who else went to, before Moi Girls? Nairobi Girls. Nairobi Girls, there you go, round of applause. Moi Nairobi Girls. Okay, so now, this time our technical guys have told us the technical side is sorted. Please cross your fingers. Musiguza nini? Yeah. Let's watch.
I'm Martha Karua. I'm also known as Kathande 2.
I'm Martha Karua.
I'm also known as
Kathande 2
family.
on account of my being a second born
Jackson Karua
in our
Jarubio.
Jina langu ni Jackson Karua Jarubio.
Tungali vijana.
Josephine Karua au Josephine Wanjiru Karua. Kwa kweli mimi ni mama ya Martha. Hata nimempatia jina la Martha kama mama yangu.
My name is Josephine Nyaga Karua. Martha is
I'm Martha Karua. I'm also known as Kathande 2 on account of my being a second born in our family.
Jina langu ni Jackson Karua Jarubio. Josephine ni bibi yangu. Tulianza safari yetu tungali vijana.
Josephine Karua au Josephine Wanjiru Karua. Kwa kweli mimi ni mama ya Martha. Hata nimempatia jina la Martha kama mama yangu.
My name is Josephine Nyaga Karua. Martha is my elder sister. In our family, we introduce ourselves by the positions we are in the family and by the name of this locality. So in short, I'm Kathande 4.
Margaret Wawira Karua. I'm the firstborn in this family. I am Kathande 1.
My name is Esther Wambui Karua, and Martha is my big sister. I'm Kathande 7.
My name is Kathy Jerry, and Martha is my aunt.
My first role models were my parents and my paternal grandmother.
Martha ngali mtoto walikuwa kama watoto wengine, lakini unajua desturi za mtu ni Mungu anapeana.
Martha is an extraordinary person. Actually, it's one of a kind. I believe there are not many in the world like her. Alikuwa akicheza, alikuwa akinisaidia, alikuwa akifanya mengi, hata wengine alikuwa akiwacommand sana.
My earliest memory of her is when she took me for a boat ride when I was very young, together with my brother at Uhuru Park.
mother's character is unmatched.
Yes, I remember she loves singing, she loves music, so I would sometimes catch her, dancing to the music.
And then, especially on Saturday afternoon when music used to be played on KBC, we would get a radio that we had, put it outside, and then Martha and my elder brother would be showing us dancing styles.
Wakati mmoja kukawa na mkutano mkubwa sana kule Kianyaga. Alipatiwa nafasi kuongea. Alipoongea, watu ambao hawakuwa wamemsikia tena walimpigia makofi, wakafanya kelele nyingi sana kwa furaha.
Memory, those very early days, that character had not really been defined, especially in lower primary school. You may not have noticed it, but at home, I can very well remember we could see her assuming some leadership roles, even that early time.
Alikuwa akionyesha yeye anaweza kuwa mtu wa kufanya kazi za aina yote, hata kuwasimamia watu wengine wafanye kazi, au wao wakiongea ikiwa ni mkutano, alikuwa akitaka sana kuongea.
So how I helped her is by staying with the kid. By then she was a magistrate at the High Court, then she moved to Kibera, finally to Makandara.
When they were advocating for multi-party democracy, that's when her character now came out, because she could talk boldly, even regardless of the kind of government which was then there, and address the then President Moi, who was a tough one.
At the beginning it wasn't easy, since she was contending with a man, and those were old days when women were not accepted as leaders.
Alipotaka kusimama kama mbunge, nikaa kama nina hofu kidogo, maana mzee ambaye alikuwa politician wakati huo ni mmoja tu, na alikuwa rafiki yangu. Kwa ghafla nilikuja na gari, nikakuta vita iko kubwa sana, hata kijana mmoja wangu alikuwa amepigwa upande mmoja wa kichwa na akakatwa na panga. Nikasema hivyo ndivyo, hakuna jambo kama hili. Hata Karidi akiwa rafiki yangu aende bali.
Sasa alikuwa akionekana yeye ni shujaa, ana msimamo wake, na hiyo msimamo inamfanya kukosana na wengine.
So she asked me to deliver a statement to KTN, which was then situated at Nyayo House. Remember, Nyayo House was also the torture chambers of Moi era. So in my hurry, I forgot to press the actual place where KTN was situated, and I ended up in the torture chambers, which was, I think, on the 24th floor. And the APs there were very happy. They thought, oh, she brought herself. Only to realize after I was held for a few minutes, about 10 or 15, when the senior came and told them, no, that's the wrong person you have. So I was released.
She is somebody who goes to great lengths to help another person who has a problem, na alikuwa akisaidia watu sana ambao wako hapa Kisumu. Watoto wale walikuwa akitoka shule, alikuwa akiwatafutia kazi wengi, kazi za aina yote, na walikuwa ameenda wengi sana wakati ule.
I've been a hairdresser for a couple of years. Actually, she's the one who got me my first job.
We admire her for the positions she normally takes. Most politicians take positions due to their stomachs or due to very many different reasons.
Ninyonaga wendo munene muno, ona koguo ni tuhoera Ngai amutethie undu uria ekuona no amuhe thiini wa bururi witu, amuhe niguo andu mone ati ni mundu ungihota kurutira andu wira.
There's one time I was in hospital, and she would never fail to come and see me. She would come, sit with me for a few minutes, hold my hands and pray. So the first time she actually prayed with me, I was like, oh, this is another side I've not seen.
Kazi yake hata sisi inatubariki. inatubariki. Sasa ningemwambia aendelee hivi hivi. I thank God for all that he has made her and what she is today and what she will be tomorrow. I believe her tomorrow is greater than today.
Sijui kama unakumbuka hiyo mwalimu alikuwa anataka kunichapa nyuma kama wavulana.
One. Nikamwambia hapana. Nilipoenda nikasema hakuna. Hata mimi ni mwalimu, nilimwambia hivyo. Wasichana wanasava mikono. Wavulana tu wanawachapa hata nyuma.
In 2003 when they were doing homecomings for Honorable Mudi Awori, there was a Busia plane crash which mother was in. As we were running helter-skelter, not knowing where to start or what to do, Honorable Mukisa Kitui called me and told me that they are with mother, she's okay. She still would go to her office with a neck brace. That's how much mother loves her work and her people.
Most people know her as the Iron Lady. And I've had people ask me, so how do you guys even talk? Like, she's so tough. But I would want people to know that she's a soft person on the inside, really.
I think I would describe her as a very principled politician. She never goes against what she believes in.
She's very committed when she decides not to do anything.
In between the injustices that she has faced and the betrayals, I have seen her, even in her low moments, still stand.
Yes, I am very proud of mother. Anytime, I am very proud of her.
I would want to congratulate her on that milestone and tell her that I look up to her as a role model.
Never stop for any reason. Just go on, my sister. We are standing right behind you. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, the theme for this afternoon is strength and resilience for greater good. Say after me, strength and resilience for greater good. And the hashtag for tonight is hashtag Martha Against the Tide. So I know many of you are producing content. We're all content creators in here. So as you're posting content, the hashtag is Martha Against the Tide. Tafadhali. Now, we are going to have a second panel discussion shortly with Naliaka, who will be talking to other people who will take us through Martha's journey post-university, into career, into leadership and governance. And before we do that, I just want, because we have very many people in the room, I'm going to take a couple of people as samples, all right? And the one thing that people talk about, even Martha herself has said, that people call her the Iron Lady. So that's not the word that I want to hear from you. So apart from the Iron Lady, how else would you describe Martha Karua? I'll pick somebody randomly, because we have to stand up to tell us your name, and then not a story, just one line.
Good at following instructions. My name is Ngendo. I would describe Martha as Kenya's Avenger.
Kenya's Avenger, we have one. Very good, very good. Mugisa, I'm not coming to you. I'm coming to this one. I've spared you this one. You're the one. Yes, stand up, tell us your name. Apart from Kenya's Avenger and the Iron Lady, how else would you describe Martha Karua? Amepewa leakage. Umeshika leakage? Tukapatia 1 minute tuchukue Mwakenya. Stand up. Your name, please.
My name is Yotara Geoffrey. Mother is our mother, a strong woman.
Our mother, a strong woman. Yeah, remember, Baba and Martha. Remember? In this column, who am I going to pick? See, someone volunteer. Okay, I'm coming to pick. I'll pick you. You knew? So sit down, not you then. Let's go for her. Tell us your name. And apart from Mother, our mother, Kenya's Avenger, Kenya's Iron Lady, what else?
Sorry, my name is Penina. I admire Mother. She is resilient and the strongest person who stands against the tide. That's what I see her.
Very well said. Strong, standing against the tide. Okay, that was a kuanea. Smama too. You wanted this.
Hi, everyone. My name is Adele Onyango, and when I think of Martha, I'm going to use the word, could I just use a sentence? Please, I know, okay? So she's the one who's opening the gate for us, and so I hope we honor her sacrifices.
Opening the gate. So we say, the gate opener. Washimeni. Okay, we come to this column. This one is a big one. So there are people who are already volunteering. Good. I like volunteers. So we know what we've had so far. Gate opener. Kenya's Avenger. What else? Resilient. Mother. The Iron Lady.
Hello, my name is Brian Karanja, and I'd say Martha is selfless.
Selfless, a good one.
Hi, my name is Dr. Patricia Murugami. Martha is Africa's phoenix and a breeze.
Patricia, surely, I mean, must you go with a heavy English like that? Are there more people? Okay.
Thank you. My name is David Mushungu. I would say that a society may largely be made of many people with high integrity, or on the other side, made by many people who lack integrity. Mother has integrity.
You want to say that? Finally.
Hi, everyone. After meeting Mother a couple of times, I realized behind that strength, she has a sweet spirit. Like, she just walks out of her office to meet you on the corridor. She has a very sweet spirit.
My name is Afara Omar, and I'd like to say Martha is a scapegoat to the political class, because as much as she has integrity and all these things, utaambiwa she owns Riviera Mall, she owns something, while in reality she's as poor as most of us.
Very well said. Now I've opened that gate. I have to close this gate very fast before things get out of hand. Tumemaliza hiyo chapter. Naliaka, please come for the next panel. As we hear from people, you know what we are seeing, what we are even seeing in the room is various generations, right? So Martha is transgenerational. People who are 50 and above, please raise your hand. People who are 50 and above in the room? Okay. Let's clap for those who are 50 and above and they're in the room. Okay. If you are 50 and below, please raise your hand. 50 and below, raise your hand. Keep your hand up if you're 45 and below. Keep your hand up if you're 40 and below. Keep your hand up if you're 35 and below. Keep your hand up if you're 30 and below. Keep your hand up if you're 25 and below. Ai, kuna watu hapa sasa ambao. Keep your hand up if you're 20 and below. See, we still have people. Keep your hand up if you're 15 and below. Right? Keep your hand up if you're 10 and below. 10 and below. Are you seeing what we mean? Martha transcends all generations, right? And that's the thing about the inspiration. So Neliaka, your next conversation is going to look at Martha post those rebel days. You know, we've seen the prefects. Madam Headgirl, was Martha a prefect? There you go. So Martha was the bad influence who could not be made a prefect, but the headmistress knew that you make her friends the prefect, so they try and tame her. strategic. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Eric. So we're going to move on to the second panel, and I would like to call Dorothy Angote and Dr. Nancy Baraza to the stage. I'm also told I should also call Honorable Martha Karua to the stage. So on this part of the journey, we're looking at post-university life, career, politics, and activism. As we've seen, if you have already begun thumbing through the book, and even from the stories told on the videos, you can see a common thread that there's integrity, there's a strong sense of justice and fairness, and there's loyalty and dedication. So now we'd like to welcome Lady Justice, retired Dr. Nancy Baraza, and Dorothy Angote, who worked with Martha at the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. You're her PS, and now you're a legal consultant for legal governance and land reforms. So welcome to Going Against the Tide. And of course, our Mheshimiwa, Martha Karua. Thank you. So I'd like to start with you, Dr. Nancy Baraza. You are a colleague and comrade at arms at LSK and FIDA. What can you tell us about your time together?
Thank you very much, Nadiaka, and good afternoon, everybody. I have known Martha since the 17th day of September 1977. And this was a group of young, ambitious girls who had just conquered and been admitted to the Faculty of Law, University of Nairobi. So that's how we met. And so we spent our studies at Gandhi Wing and of course lived at the box. And so my life and Martha's life started then. I admired her in class. We had come from various parts of the country. I think she was lucky. One boy has talked about people who had tasted Nairobi life. Some of us had not tasted Nairobi life. We were emerging straight from Mount Elgon, trying to navigate, trying to cross University Way. You know, that was hard. The motorists then were kind. They were not the motorists of today. So we would be running across, and but of course not Martha running. I learned a lot from her. And Martha was what I would call a savior in our class. So we go to this school, and I can see one of our great teachers, Mwalimu Willy Mutunga. I don't know if we have Professor Kivuta Kibwana and our other teachers, but Prof. Justice Mutunga was one of our teachers. And of course, the class of law, it scared us stiff because there we were, and the teachers were introducing us to these subjects in Latin. It was Latin. And I remember, I think in land law, there was this thing, quid, planter, solo, sedate. So a teacher comes in and starts with that. And another one comes in for a class of jurisprudence, is in nusta lex est lex. And we are all so scared. We got so scared. But Martha was the only one who could like whisper, so what did that mean? And sometimes the teacher would see like we needed an explanation, but none of us had the guts. In fact, most of us wanted to run away from the class. But she made fun of it, sometimes made it possible for some of these terms to be explained. So she led in that class and ensured that we didn't run out of the law class because we thought it sounded too difficult. So Mother was our savior. She was smart, she was clever, she was confident, she had such bouncing, healthy hair and a happy smile, and she was just a lovely person and very, very relatable. And so that is how we went. We graduated in 1980, went to law school, Kenya School of Law together, and then our career paths started to shape up. She joined the bench as a magistrate. Some of us went to private practice. And she did well on the bench. We were appearing before her. She was a good magistrate. And then at that time, members of the bench were very stiff people. They were stiff, almost scary. But Martha made the environment a bit comfortable. Now, our paths crossed when she left the judiciary and joined private practice. And together with other gallant women, I can see Betty Murungi, I can see Jenny Kiragu, I can see, I don't know if Lilian Maura is here, but yes, I can see you, Lilian. And we formed the present-day Federation of Women Lawyers in Kenya, FIDA. And guided, actually, by Lilian, by Martha, by their sense of justice. We found an area where women were very, very disadvantaged in terms of navigating their way around law, trying to get maintenance for their children in the courts, the law covering areas which mattered most to women, like marriage, like children, matrimonial property, which she majored in practice, creating a lot of jurisprudence. What the country relies on now is courtesy of Mother Karua. So her sense of justice was very strong then, as a young girl, but there she was. And we formed this organization within a very hostile environment when everybody was wondering, what are these women talking about? I mean, what is their problem? I remember the late President Moi was alarmed. What are these girls talking about? And sending people to come and ask, do they have food or what is their problem? You know, little did he know that we had a big agenda to transform this country for women and for Kenyans eventually, which we did. And a lot of that effort goes to Honorable Mother Karua, her courage and her strong sense of justice.